What was the craziest way you caught your loved one cheating? I caught my husband mid-scandal, and he had no clue how it happened. At the start, I had no idea that he was cheating on me because he was seriously good at covering his track. Every time I started doubting him, he had an excuse or alibi ready. The first time I got suspicious was when he came home late, smelling like perfume. He walked in through the front door quietly while I was waiting for him by the stairs out of worry. I turned on the lights and he stumbled in when he saw me still awake. He asked me what I had been doing, staying up so late at night. I told him that I couldn't sleep well without him around. I walked over with a smile to give him a kiss, but I stopped just 2 feet away when I smelled the strong scent of alcohol and perfume. I asked him where he had been, and he said that he was with coworkers after work, which was why he smelled like alcohol. I asked him about the perfume and he said, well, someone spilled food on me earlier, and it smelled really bad, so one of my coworkers gave me her perfume to drown out the smell. I raised an eyebrow and crossed my arms, unconvinced. But when he showed me the small food stain, I smiled and gave him a kiss. Other times went the same way. He had the perfect excuse written like a master manipulator, and I would eventually get convinced by the amount of evidence he provided. Even so, my gut was telling me that things were off about him. The way that he had been acting was exactly how my mother was when I was young before we found out that she had cheated on my dad with several men. And now, I'm worried that I'm falling into the exact same scenario that my dad went through years ago. I knew I needed to confirm my suspicions one way or another, and I saw my opportunity when his vintage watch suddenly stopped working. We were sitting in the kitchen together while he was calling a local watch repair shop and had gotten a ridiculous quote for a watch repair. He spent 5 minutes arguing with the store to try to lower the price, but with an expired warranty on a very old model, it was going to be costly. That's when the idea popped into my head. When he hung up the phone, I walked over to rub his shoulders sweetly and asked in a loving voice, "What's wrong, my baby?" He slammed his hands on the kitchen counter and complained, "They're a bunch of scammers." I put my hand on the side of his cheek and told him that I would buy him a new watch, something more modern that would really bring out how handsome he was. He smiled at my comment and kissed my forehead and thanked me. The following day, I went out and bought him a smartwatch. I got home while he was busy watching a sports match and offered to set up the watch for his phone. I set up all the usual settings, but included a way for me to track his watch's location and data from my phone as well. He snuck up behind me just as I finished and put the watch on his wrist. He thanked me, and I showed him how to see messages, calls, and use Siri. I told him that I set the health features on automatically and placed myself as the emergency contact, and he shrugged it off, too busy with the match to pay attention. And with that, I was able to see how his day basically went through the week. But on Friday night, something different happened. My husband told me he had to work overtime all of a sudden and wanted to keep me updated like a good husband. He told me not to stay up because he wasn't sure when he would get done. But around 11 p.m., I saw that he had arrived at a hotel. I texted him, asking if he was done with work, and he responded that he was still busy working on documents. My heart raced and I started getting ready to find him at that hotel. About 40 minutes later, in the middle of driving, I got an emergency text message saying that my husband's heart rate suddenly soared into dangerous levels for a long period of time. His phone ended up calling 911 at the same time, sending them his information and location. We arrived at the hotel around the same time, and the manager at the lobby accompanied me and the paramedics to the room my husband had chosen. I leaned in and heard the sound of a man and woman, so I lied to the manager saying that he sounded distressed, and to hurry and unlock the door. When we all stepped in, he was in the middle of doing the dirty deed with my 17-year-old niece. He yelled, "Baby!" I flipped him off, took a picture and video, and walked out. After that, I got a divorce with a very nice settlement. I eventually sold the house to move on to a new town, and I've lived a happy single life ever since.